What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. And in this one, I'm going to be going over some new definitive agreements very briefly and just giving you a quick update on the new Spacs and what they're all about, as well as some growth stocks that I am building out on these dips. So I have been buying on these red days and really trying to add to these positions that I see a lot of growth potential in the future. And this chart right here just shows that the big institutional investors called smart money actually did buy today. So surprisingly enough, they didn't buy the big dip yesterday. They decided, I guess, to wait for a bit of confirmation, and they bought today. So that is, a bullish sign, and the market recovered very nicely. I'm pretty bullish going into March. We have a lot of great events coming up, and, stimulus is getting voted on pretty soon here. Hopefully passes before March 14th, and I believe that will help out the market in a big way. Now, let's get into it. So the first definitive agreement is ticker symbol AONE. This is a definitive agreement with Markforged, and they are a 3D printing company and a leader in additive manufacturing. So Markforged is changing the pace of invention with the Digital Forge, an intuitive additive manufacturing platform powering engineers, designs, and manufacturing professionals all over the world. The Digital Forge platform seamlessly combines best-in-class machines, software, and both metal and composite materials to empower engineers and designers to go from a design to a functional part more efficiently. They were founded in 2013 and based in Massachusetts. Markforged has about 250 employees globally, with 137 million in both strategic and venture capital. Markforged was recently recognized by Forbes in the next billion-dollar startup list, and they're listed as number 2 fastest growing hardware company, and that was in the 2019 Deloitte Fast 500. They have a projected revenue of 88 million in 2021, and then 122 million in 2022. This is a $1.66 billion estimated valuation, and they have 210 million in the pipe. So taking a look at the chart today, still under $15, which is, still a decent place if you were interested in something like this and wanted to do further DD on it. However, it is up quite a bit, which is something I actually like to see because lately we've been seeing sell-offs upon definitive agreements. So people seem to definitely like this one. Now, this industry is set to grow a lot over the next decade, and we've read a ton of different articles on the channel about Desktop Metal. You guys know I'm pretty bullish on them, so they're actually competitors, and it shows the difference in them here. So gross margin, they do beat Desktop Metal. As far as revenue and compound annual growth rate, Desktop Metal has them on that. So I definitely think these guys can coexist together. Desktop Metal is still my pick, but I also need to look into Markforged a bit more. But like I said, under $15 is still a decent place to get in, and I'm sure a lot of people have a good feeling that this will trade similarly to Desktop Metal, whether that's now or post-merger. This market is barely tapped into, and we're going to see a lot of growth in this sector over the next decade. So very bullish on 3D printing, additive manufacturing, and I can't wait to see where these guys go. Next up is ticker symbol RTP. This is a definitive agreement with Joby Aviation, an electric vertical takeoff and landing aircraft company. They are a pre-revenue company as of right now, and their estimated valuation is $4.63 billion. They have $910 million in the pipe. That's a pretty big pipe investment, so just be cautious of that post-merger. You could see some heavy selling. So pre-market, we saw this thing shoot up to around $15 at 6:15 a.m., and this is what I was talking about. So that definitive agreement, kind of a sell the news day. Still up on the day, though, which is positive. But this one is one of those invest in the future type plays. I think it is interesting. Pretty cool. So they have a deal with Uber. Joby acquired Uber Elevate in January of 2021. And it looks like Uber and Joby will partner in U.S. launch markets for demand generation, Joby to appear in the Uber app on a non-exclusive basis, and vice versa. So a bit more on Joby Aviation. It says here that with more than 1,000 test flights completed over the last 10 years, Joby intends to use its piloted 4-passenger aircraft to launch a commercial passenger service beginning in 2024. And basically, you'll be able to leapfrog over the gridlock in its emission-free vehicle. It can go 150 miles all the way up to 250 miles per hour, and it's a quiet takeoff, near silent when flying overhead. So pretty cool company. This looks cool for the future. I'm not too interested in it at the moment, but it could definitely gain traction if people really get into this one. It's very futuristic. We've seen this with a lot of SPACs. This is pre-revenue though. I'd like to see them deliver and maybe revisit it post-merger after that pipe sell-off. Third up is ticker symbol RAAC. This is a definitive agreement with Berkshire Grey. They're a leader in AI-enabled robotics and automation solutions. Now, their projected revenue 2021 is $59 million. 2022 is $119 million, so that's nice percent growth year over year. And their estimated valuation is $2.23 billion with $165 million in pipe investments, which isn't too bad at all. Chamath is in this pipe as well. And going over to their presentation, I really like their financial projections here. So you're seeing nice growth year over year. That's what you want in these growth companies. EBITDA will be positive come 2024, as well as free cash flow positive. So they're expecting some nice growth in the coming years. And then finally in 2024 is when they go positive. And that's what you love to see. That's really not too far out for a growth company. And their compound annual growth rate in the next 5 years is 93%, which is solid. So this company was founded in 2013, and Berkshire Grey is a pure-play robotics company offering fully integrated AI-based software and hardware solutions to automate business operations in warehouses and logistic fulfillment centers. The company's powerful solutions help retailers and logistics companies meet the exponential growth of e-commerce and ever-increasing consumer demands. It says BG's management, engineering, and commercial teams each have extensive robotics expertise and deep industry experience. So not up too much today upon this definitive agreement, even with Chamath's name attached to it. 18.81% on the day, down a little bit after hours. I'm sure it was a low volume kind of day for this. With so many SPACs out there, like I said, you're seeing a bit of a sell-off if the target isn't a wow factor. If you're interested in something like this is a decent place to get in. You're really not overextended to much risk with that $10 floor, and this could even do better when they announce more deals or partnerships or even post-merger. So definitely, if you're interested in this, check it out a bit more, do some more research on it, because this is not a bad price to get in at all. Last up is ticker symbol RMGB. This had a definitive agreement announced today with Renew Power, India's leading renewable energy company. Projected revenue for 2021 is $699 million. 2022 is $952 million, so big jump there. Estimated value is $7.85 billion with $855 million in the pipe. Another pretty large pipe investment, and Chamath is in this pipe. Someone needs to tell Chamath to focus on his own SPACs. I've been waiting forever. So on the RMG chart today, not that much of a jump. Up 4.83%, down in the after hours. I guess people really aren't that excited about this one, even though the company does show some promising growth. I guess with all these SPACs out, this one is just easy to skip over. It's kind of boring, so I understand, why it hasn't taken off. This could be a better after the merger type play. A bit more on Renew Power. They were founded in 2011. They are India's leading renewable energy independent power producer, or IPP, and they're among the top 15 largest renewable IPPs globally by capacity, with a large portfolio and solar projects spread across 9 Indian states. The company also owns and operates distributed solar energy projects for more than 150 commercial and industrial customers across India. Now, checking out their key highlights, they have a large TAM, one of the largest clean energy companies globally with leadership position in India. They're stable, end-to-end value chain capabilities, great track record, robust sustainability and governance culture, as well as high quality and experienced team. So wrapping things up, I'm going to cover very briefly what I bought on this recent dip and what I will continue to buy if the market, continues to sell off. And that starts with NEO. Now we have earnings coming up on 3/1. We have Lee earnings coming up as well, and that will probably set the tone for how NEO will do. I'm very bullish on NEO for March. I really do believe that they're at a great buy price right now, and we will head higher. Next up would be Open Door. Now, ARK bought more today. Institutions hold this one, and I really like this for a long-term growth play. Then Butterfly Network. You guys know that I've been buying this one. I think it's disruptive. This is a really cool company. Right now, they just have that one product, but I do think they'll do big things in the future, and I really like it around $20. It's a very good risk-reward ratio, and I'm going to hold that one for long term. Then IPOE, we got a Cramer pump today. Even Jim Cramer mentioned that this is one of his top SPACs right now. The merger will definitely be happening in March. and a lot of catalysts coming up for this one. I'm loading under $20. I think that's a steal. I bought a lot of shares, leaps, April calls as well. So I'm playing pretty safe, but I really like that one long term. Then Tattooed Chef has earnings coming up on 3/1. This is around $20 right now. Another great company with a lot of awesome growth projections, going from 4,000 stores to 10,000 stores, expanding their product line from 38 to 62, I believe. So very excited for their earnings. I think they're going to crush it. Desktop Metal is another one, sold off pretty heavily. And like we mentioned earlier in this video, 3D printing is barely tapped into, and I really do think this is going to be an awesome growth company, awesome growth play for the future. So I am adding this in the low 20s. I think that's a great place to buy. And last up, Palantir. I have a long-term outlook on this one. I know some of the CEOs just sold a ton of shares. It doesn't really bother me. I'm sure it's just a little bit of their shares to raise money. Doesn't really faze me though. I'm bullish on them no matter what, and I think that it's a no-brainer buy around that 24 to 26 area. So I'll continue to buy. So that's pretty much it, guys. If you did have some extra cash lying around, some other speculative plays that I see pretty attractive right now because they sold off is BTWN, PSTH, IPOF, and iPod. Those all have pretty solid teams behind them and should be bringing some awesome companies public pretty soon here. So you have some upcoming catalysts in the future to think about. It will just require a bit of patience. So something to think about. And I'm not in any of the definitive agreements we announced in this video, but I am in all the growth stocks, and I'm going to continue adding those. So that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed, and have a good one.